Today we have a 2025 Chevy Corvette Convertible. In this video, I'll talk about what the C8 generation Corvette is, how I feel about the interior space, and what it's like to drive it in the winter time. How does it go when life gives you lemons? Life gave me a C8 Corvette Convertible for a week in February, and since it's winter time in New Jersey, I decided to use it like an everyday car and see if it's not possible to drive a mid-engine rear-wheel drive car in winter conditions. Well, I'm sorry, all cars are meant to be driven, and the C8 Corvette will not escape that. Now, at this point, you've probably seen every video and read everything about the 8th generation Corvette, so I'm gonna keep it short and simple. We can distinguish 4 different models of the C8 generation: the entry-level Stingray that we have today, hybrid E-Ray, performance-oriented Z06, and the most hardcore 1000 horsepower ZR1. The C8 is obviously built on a dedicated mid-engine platform and features double wishbone suspension front and back, combined with monotube shock standard. Magnetic ride control dampers are optional, and obviously once we move up the trims and models, we'll find some modifications to the suspension. All models are powered by V8 engines, however, they are all different. Let's start with the entry-level Stingray. It gets a naturally aspirated 6.2-liter LT2 that delivers 490 horsepower and 465 pound-feet of torque. If you get the performance exhaust like our tester has, you'll get 495 horsepower and 470 pound-feet of torque. Next up, hybrid E-Ray. It also uses the same LT2 engine, but it gets a 160 horsepower electric motor mounted on the front axle that powers front wheels, giving you a total of 655 horses. The Z06 gets a flat plane 5.5 liter, which makes 670 horsepower, and the ZR1 has a twin turbocharged version of that motor, producing whopping 1064 horsepower. An 8-speed dual-clutch transmission made by Tremec is your only option, and all Vettes, besides the E-Ray, are rear-wheel drive. Now, before we talk what it's like to drive the Corvette in winter weather, let's take a look inside and talk about the interior space. Alrighty, inside the C8 generation Corvette. Now, when you first look at this cabin, it will probably blow you away because it looks like an Italian supercar. And when you take a closer look, you see a very high attention to detail. I mean, I am really impressed how well Chevy designed this cabin, and I'm not afraid to say that this is one of the nicest interiors that GM has ever made. There is a good mix of different materials such as leather, alloys, or suede. They are all well put together and you feel like you're in a well-designed space. Everything was laid out intuitively, we get a lot of physical controls, and despite the futuristic design, it is very easy to live with the Vette on a daily basis. The technology implementation is good, the digital gauge cluster is customizable and provides you with all the information you need, and thanks to the square design of the steering wheel, the gauges basically never get obstructed no matter how you position the steering wheel, so that's a nice thing. The infotainment system is fine too, nothing extraordinary, but it gets the job done. It's pretty intuitive, has a simple interface and supports wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's also Android Automotive based, so you get things like Google Maps, for example. When it comes to overall usability, you can't expect much from a mid-engine sports car, but we do get some space in the center console area, under the armrest, and in the door pockets. Also, I got some good news when it comes to cargo area. Having a drop top no longer means you lose any of the trunk space because the top goes over the engine, so you still get somewhat reasonable 12.6 cubic feet of cargo space in the back, and of course, there's an also small frunk up front. Last thing, the seats. There are 2 million different color and seat options, including your seat belts. Here we have yellow stitching and yellow seat belts that match the yellow exterior color. We also have the GT2 bucket seats in our tester, which are heated and cooled and offer good balance of comfort and support. They have adjustable bolsters, so you can tighten them or loosen them if you're a bigger person. Anyways, that was the cabin of the new C8 Corvette, so let's get it on the road now and see how it drives. Oh yeah, VA, baby. Woo! Okay guys, driving the C8 Corvette. Now, just as a reminder, we are in the base Stingray model. If you want to get a more performance-oriented vehicle, you're going to go for the Z06. If you want to go all the way and have a track tool that has more than 1,000 horsepower, you get the ZR1. Now, one thing I want to point out is it is winter time in New Jersey and it is 27 degrees outside. We are also on a set of all-season tires, so we're not going to be able to test the C8 to its full capabilities, but I think we will be able to get a glimpse of what this thing is capable of. So without further ado, let's put it into sport mode, track mode maybe? Why not? Even though we're not on the racetrack, transmission into manual mode. And let's see how this thing does. The transmission is phenomenal. It's super quick to downshift and upshift. You can shift mid-corner, and that's not gonna upset the car. I would honestly compare it to a PDK, that Porsche design. This Tremec unit is really great, and it's a class of its own. I mean, the Z06 and the ZR1 also use this transmission, so they really had to design it well, and they did. The engine, I mean, just listen to this. That LT2 V8, even though it's a base engine in the Corvette lineup, it is fantastic. In our tester, it makes 495 horsepower because we have a performance exhaust that gives you extra 5 horsepower, an extra 5 pound-feet of torque. We can roll down the back window to hear it even better. I mean, just listen to this symphony. It backfires at higher RPMs when you upshift. As we take those turns, the steering could be a little bit better. Could have provided a little bit more feedback, but it's okay. I'll take it. There is some body roll because we have a base model. We don't have any performance upgrades to the suspension. They had to compromise handling characteristics and daily usability. It is very stable. It's so nice to drive a mid-engine car to get that extra grip on the rear axle. Wow. Now, for a base Corvette, even though it's a sports car, this is hella fun and I really like it. All right, let's put it into Tour mode, which is the equivalent of comfort mode. The exhaust gets a little bit more quiet. You can put it back into automatic mode and talk what it's like to live with the C8 Corvette on a daily basis. I've driven the C8 before. It was in the summertime. Now I have a chance to drive it in the winter time, and I'm still impressed and amazed how great of an all-around daily and vehicle this is. Like I said, this is a GT. You want a more performance-oriented car, you're gonna get a Z06 or the ZR1. This is gonna be more comfort-oriented and more GT-like. You can have your passenger, you have enough space in the trunk to put your golf clubs, of course, a set of New Balances, and you're good to go. Now, all jokes aside, it's kind of practical for a mid-engine car. You also have a frunk up front, and when you drive this car is not overwhelming. It's not causing any anxiety, you know, that you have a very high horsepower car that has a mid-engine and is rear-wheel drive. No, this is super easy to drive on a daily basis. There are some obvious compromises, you know, the visibility isn't all that great. When you look out back, you have massive blind spots. Even looking out of the window here, I hate digital mirrors, but it actually is helpful because it lets you see more. But overall, I'm really impressed how GM engineered this thing. And it's kind of funny because I was thinking about how GM functions as a company, as a corporation, right? They can make fantastic products like a C8 Corvette or the Blackwings or even the Hummer EV, but they can also make cars like, well, Chevy Cruze or Chevy Spark or Bolts. Kind of reminds me of me when I was a student. On a daily basis, I was a C grade student, but if I really wanted, I want to be an A+ student, and I think this is what GM is. They make really fantastic vehicles if they want, and the C8 Corvette, even in this base model without any performance upgrades, is a prime example. So with that, let's hop into the final thoughts and summarize this thing. Okay guys, it's time to sum up the C8 Convertible. Now, as you can imagine, wintertime isn't ideal for a high-performance car, but guess what? The C8 killed it, and it did very, very well, proving how great of a GT and a daily sports car this thing is. As I said in my driving impressions, it is a GT in the first place, and it really excels in that role, being more comfortable and more usable than you think. Obviously, you have to compromise on space, and it's not as practical as GTs with front engines, but hey, I don't care. This just looks way, way better. I know I didn't cover as much as I wanted in this review, but I would like to refer you to all the videos that Savage Geese made about the C8 generation Corvette. They covered every single model and talked to the engineers and people behind it, so it's really, really worth a watch. Anyways, if you guys have any questions about the C8 generation Corvette, drop a comment and I'll answer them. Thanks so much for watching, I'll catch you all later.